reason why the church exists is to make Jesus known and loved. The reason why we're here on this Sunday at Mass is to make him known and loved. Not only in our own hearts, to continue to come to know him in our hearts, but also in the hearts of others too. Most especially in the hearts of others. To make Jesus known and loved. That's our mission. That's who we are. That's why we exist as a church here. We see here in this first reading how the church in the beginning had done with that, what they were doing. We see here Paul and Barnabas proclaiming the good news and making many, many followers of Christ, disciples of Christ. Thousands and thousands of people came to know Jesus by their actions and by their proclaiming the gospel. We see here how they went from Lystra, Iconium, Antioch, how they went to Pamphylia, Perga, Italia, and then back to Antioch. And they're recounting how the Lord works in their lives and how he is alive, shattering sin and death in our hearts, in our lives. So that's what they're doing there. Then what's beautiful is that we see that this work of theirs had made other disciples. And this continued throughout the generations, making Jesus known and loved through a couple thousand years, down to this present age. And that's where you and I are here. You and I have come across people who are on fire with Jesus, who have helped us in our faith journey with him. Help us to know Jesus and love him. I imagine you could probably think of friends, relatives, mom and dad and grandparents who have helped you do that. Praise God for them. Thank God for them. Now it's our turn. Now it's our turn to let that be known to others too. Make Jesus known and loved. And that's where the great commandment of love our neighbors comes in. Loving God as well comes into play. That's why we exist, is to make Jesus known and loved. And what's beautiful is that grows the church. What's wonderful is that we've been seeing that in our own parish here at St. Albert, that there's been growth happening. Back in 2021, when I was just made administrator here at St. Albert, I didn't know if this church was going to merge with St. Michael or if it was going to stay open or not. And so I prayed about that in May of that year, 2021, and I heard the Lord say to me, Joe, I want you to grow the church at St. Albert. And then I heard from the Archbishop a letter confirming that. That in October of that 2021 year, the Archbishop wrote a letter saying, you are going to stay open here at St. Albert. We want Jesus to be made known and loved through the gift of St. Albert. We have a special charism here of welcoming, caring for each other in a spiritual family. And we want to continue that into the future. And so we've seen here much growth. We've seen here a lot of growth. Not only in Mass attendance, we've added Masses, weekday and Sunday Mass. We've also added confession times. We've seen baptisms around here. We had 5 baptisms just within the first 3 weeks of Easter. That's huge. We also have seen RCIA and OCIA around here programs going. We've had 4 of those within the last 2.5 years. That's incredible. We even have children now who are looking to become Catholic for St. Albert. We have a couple of those coming up. Those who are grade schoolers are looking to become Catholic here at St. Albert. And that's huge. We are seeing growth here at the church. Mass attendance has been phenomenal. It's been growing here. We had 821 people here for the Easter Masses. That's incredible. And we want to continue growing this. We want to continue making Jesus known and loved here. And that's where this next step comes in. The next step is to build on to our church. Because we need to continue growing. And we don't have enough space to do that. We need certain things. And that's where this capital campaign will come in. To talk about the capital campaign, I'd like to invite Melissa and George Lahr to help us to talk about that.